Yes, Elizabeth. E.R. Bulkey in lane number 4. The big man, 5 times a gold medalist in London, including this one. He's the world record holder in that time of 54.44. Set that last year in Glasgow. Just wonder what he's going to do. He sometimes surprises us, actually, Bulkey. Swimming fast heats. There's Raman Salai, the younger brother of Dimitri Salai, who won that first heat. But these are the big guys, aren't they? These really tall, athletic figures, these visually impaired swimmers.
They are tall and they are really strong, and we can see that that's reflected in their times. But I think people sometimes struggle to understand that these guys, it's really hard for them to race because they can't actually see who they're racing. So very often they're in a time trial, and that definitely changes how you approach a race.
Well, Bulkey looking pretty good, isn't he? That first 50 there, 25.60, and that's only 0.2 of a second outside his world record split. So E.R. Bulkey, as I said, we do sometimes see fast swims from the man from Belarus in the heats. We'll keep an eye on the clock, just a little eye on it, maybe slightly outside. 54.44 is the world record time. He's not going to be far away at all. 55.15 for E.R. Bulkey. That was an impressive swim there from the Belarus swimmer. Maschenko coming in now, the S11 swimmer. Seeing the tapping sticks there for the swimmers in the centre of the pool. Maschenko and Zuzilao. For E.R. Bulkey, 55.15, good swim.
Great swim, great time for a morning, and he actually misjudged his turn and his finish, so there's a bit more time in there tonight, but largely that could be down to the fact that he isn't able to spot the wall.
Yeah, we see E.R. Bulkey coming in to that turn there. In fact, that's the finish. Just a little bit of a glide at the end there. But impressive stuff. He's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, it's a difficult ask though, isn't it, to ask them to swim full pelt into a wall that they can't see. So I know I would struggle to do it.
He wears goggles, but as an S13, doesn't have to be blacked out goggles. It's only the S11s that have that particular requirement. E.R. Bulkey, though, takes that one comfortably ahead of Raman Salai. So 3 swimmers under the 1 minute there. Very good stuff there, and progressing to the final. I think it's going to be 102 to get you into that final. There's some of the close races that we have seen earlier today. Alison Glott looking pleased with himself. And yeah, 101 in fact to get into that final. Sergei Punko making it into there. And Kazakhstan swimmer Roman Agalikov going in 6th position, and on that first heat there, Agalikov, that was actually an Asian record that he swam there, 1 minute 0.18, so good performance by the Kazakhstan swimmer. But E.R. Bulkey and the 2 Salai brothers, they are 1, 2 and 3, and that is going to be a good battle between the brothers, but I'm not sure if they can challenge the great E.R. Bulkey.
He definitely has a grip on this race and this event in the last few years.
Well, I'm just waiting for the appointed time for the next heat. They're going through thick and fast. It's been a quick session. There's a couple of minutes ahead of schedule now here at the pool. But, you know, first morning, not a bad start.
Oh, always nice to see that we're on track, and there's been some really good swims this morning, and that's positive for the rest of the week.
There's the Swedish supporters there as the one and only heat of the women's. In fact, there's 2 heats on this one, my apologies. 2 heats of this one, it's like another combined event. S11 to S13s. Let's see, is there any S11s? There is one S11 in this first one, Maya Rashad. There she is. the yellow cap of Sweden. Again, another swimmer better known for the breaststroke.
Yeah, but I think a lot of athletes like to get in on the first day of competition and just get a feel for the meet and work out the core room system and the flow of the athletes around the pool side and the venue. So that's why we'll see some athletes stepping outside of their comfort zone and entering different races.
It's a long week. Some of these swimmers will have a number of events to contend with. Joanna Mendak from Poland, S13 swimmer now. She did swim in the S12 class. Her eyesight has improved. She's now been reclassified to an S13. Tosh Polatova from Uzbekistan. Newcomer, just 18 years of age. I haven't seen her in the major championships before. Any info on her, Liz?
No, she's new to us all, new to the scene, but she's in lane 5, so we can expect a fast time this morning.
First into her stroke there, Uzbekistan swimmer. Polatova, and she's going well ahead of Joanna Mendak. Joanna Mendak, of course, real experienced campaigner. 3 times ago medalist in the Paralympic Games in this event, and very much, I mean, she does do freestyle. She's a good freestyler as well, but butterfly was definitely her number 1.
Yeah, in her prime, 1:03 is an incredible time for 100 metres butterfly. She actually struggled to get back there over recent years, but she still features heavily, and as you said, branching out more towards the freestyle events these days.
Stetsenko going well in lane number 6, but it is the newcomer, Tosh Polatova. Well, there you go. She's not going to be, she's not going to have the advantage of being unknown very long, because she is going really, really well. The Uzbekistan swimmer, and she's gone out in 105.81, and Uzbekistan swimmer has claimed another Asian record. So that's 2 Asian records we've seen for the visually impaired swimmers in the last couple of events here. And Tosh Polatova 105.81. And there's Mendak again, just trying to tilt her head listening to the announcements here. It must be really frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, because you don't, if you miss the name, the time they say is irrelevant. You know, like, is that me? And you can see the confusion on all of their faces. Not so much in the final, because they can tend to look across the pool and maybe see if the person next to them's at the wall and they know if they've won or not. But they're always a bit apprehensive about celebrating, just in case there's been an outside smoker in lane 1.
Well, I suppose it's all about position in the final, all about times in the heats. The Uzbekistan swimmer there, Tosh Polatova, in there. Asian record 105.81 for the youngster, 18 years of age. He's burst onto the scene now. Let's see what this second heat can do. There's not going to be that many that are going to be trying to challenge that 105 time. Asian record confirmed, 105.81. Mendak in second, Stetsenko in third position, just ahead of Delgado Nadal, just 5/100 separating third and fourth. Probably safe enough for the final, but we will see. May well be vital, that little touch at the end there. 5/100s may make all the difference. Here's in the centre lanes for heat number 2. Well, we do have another Uzbekistani swimmer in lane number 5, but also in lane number 4. Probably the favourite for this one, Daraya Stukalova. Here she is. She is world champion from 2015. Again, amazingly, swimming up a class. She's an S12 swimmer, won an S13 title. Odilova, second Uzbekistani swimmer, and actually had an entry time faster than her countrymate in the first heat, so it's going to be interesting. 105.81, the fastest qualification time the European and world record that Daraya Stukalova will be chasing is 103.11, which is Joanna Mendek's record.
Stokolova's going old school this morning. She's the only one sporting a costume, no race suit for her, but I think that's just a way of easing her way into the meet and knowing, and then it's a confidence builder because you know you've got something to add for the final.
Well, white hat of the Russian, the blue hat of the Uzbekistani, they are absolutely together. Dilova has gone through very fast there, 30.41, and it's about half a second outside world record pace. So these have come along very, very well indeed here. And Dilova, S13 swimmer with that partial vision, is going very well indeed, the blue cap. Just keep an eye on the record here. World record held by Rebecca Myers, 105.03. It's very close indeed. It's 105.38. Well, 0.3 of a second outside the world record, and it looks like the two Uzbekistan swimmers, 1 and 2 for the final. That's another Asian record. 2 Asian records there for the two Uzbekistan swimmers. One heat after another.
It would be great for them as well to have that domestic rivalry, because it does mean that when you race each other at home a lot and you have to perform, when you come away to meets like this, you're prepared. And I know that Charlotte Henshaw and I used to both benefit from that scenario back in Britain in the 100 breaststroke.
Well, Odilova now in 30.41, which was slower than her teammate Tosha Balatova, but she came back a lot faster and finished inside the time of her teammate. So I just wonder if we'll see the same scenario tonight. What can Stukalova do as well? She said, Liz, you think she's got a little bit more to come?
Yeah, definitely. She was 2.5 seconds off her best time there, so she's an experienced campaigner, and she's probably got a long week ahead of her as well, because she competes in a lot of events and she's got a lot of tough rivalries, so she'll be conserving as much energy as she can in these heats rounds.
I suppose that might be the difference there. There is the result of that second heat. Dilova, an Asian record, 105.38, just 0.3 of a second outside the world record mark for that S13. It's one of the events that the S13 record's slower than the S12.
Yeah, and before Rebecca Myers managed to break it, that S13 record had been around since 1996, so it's quite nice to see now that there's a good deal of competition going on, and these girls will push each other to even quicker times.
Well, we'll see if we can challenge that world record tonight. Two Uzbekistani swimmers ahead of the Russian, and we talked about the experience of Stukalova, and I suppose the relative inexperience of the Uzbekistani swimmers. Will that come into play?
I mean, we don't know. We don't know a lot about them. They are new on the scene, so it might be that they've been swimming a very long time, but those times they're good swimmers. But yeah, that whole atmosphere of a major championships really can throw you, and the whole call room thing is completely different. So when the pressure's on for the medals, it's not always as easy to churn out the fast times.
We'll see the Uzbekistan personal rivalry, and there's a few personal rivalries here in this one. A few experienced campaigners taking the start here, as well as a few young pretenders, I suppose we can call them. It's the 100 freestyle for the S4 class. It is a combined event. There's Roman Zdanov, 17 years of age. And Derevitsky in lane 6. There's David Smetanine in lane 5. What can the Frenchman do? He has had a great rivalry over the years with a number of the swimmers in here. There's Nelson Lopes, the home swimmer in lane 8. he's an experienced man. He won a medal in the 50 backstroke in the Europeans in 2014 after something like 15 years of trying to be on the medal podium. Nelson Lopez was fantastic there. That you just saw there, Richard record holder in the S4 class with the bald head of Spain.
Him and David have had a very strong rivalry for a number of years, and for David, Rio would be his 4th Paralympic Games.
For Richard Uribe, it'll be his 7th if he makes it.
Whoosh.
That's more than us combined.
I know, eh?
Well, maybe not actually. No, we'd still outrank him, wouldn't we?
I don't know, how many did you go to?
5.
Oh yeah, no, we win.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yay for your experience.
Different starts here. We have a couple of the lower classes here. Danilenko in S2 in lane 0 and Makarov in lane 1 is an S3. All the rest are S4s. Again, I think this one is one that could be wide open. We've got the experience of Uribe and Smetanine. We've got Zdanov, the youngster from Russia, in lane 4. We've got Darko Duric, who won 2 golds in the World Champs in 2013, but really hasn't performed at any other championships.
It's a very wide open field, and as we've discussed throughout the morning, these lower classifications, if something happens they're a little under the weather, or they get a little niggle or a little injury, it can really offset the whole balance of their stroke, of their preparation. So we can see a massive differentiation in the times that they're capable of and the times that they actually are able to put out on the day.
Well, we shall see if Zdanov can continue this one. The one and only heat of this one. We only have to drop 1 swimmer, of course. But, as we said, all to play for here. With all these guys, Zdanov is going to be leading them home there in lane number 4. Maybe in 2nd position, possibly 2 lanes up there. Dervinsky. Zdanov will take that one in 1:27. It's Darko Duric actually in lane 3 who gets the touch in 1:28.86. The Slovenian swimmer there in lane number 3, Zdanov, the Russian, in lane 4 taking that one. And Darko Duric should be pleased with that one. His entry time of 1:30, he's improved on that, 1:28.86. Maybe in for another good championships for Darko Duric. Again, a big chance. We've seen a number of the swimmers from the small teams. They have kind of one kind of standard bearer, the one person they look to claim a medal for their country.
Yeah, definitely, and then they really set the tone then, and people try to aspire to them nationally, and that's when we see the countries grow and their success really developed. There's 2 different types of stroking on here. We saw in the middle lanes, the majority of people were swimming on their front and doing freestyle, but then we saw a single arm backstroke, a double arm backstroke, and actually the times aren't too dissimilar, and we're in for a really close race this evening.
Well, there are the results of that heat. Number 1, Zdanov, Duric, Dervinsky, Smetanine, Povisil, all under the 1:30 mark. Uribe, he'll go faster tonight, that's sure. I'm sure about that. The experienced campaigner. And Nelson Lopez claims that final place in the final. He'll be pleased with that one, the local man. So can he get on the medal podium again? Backstroke is probably his best discipline. As you said, Liz, he was doing the backstroke in the freestyle event. So getting into the water, getting the feeling of this pool. Well, we're coming towards the end of our session. We do have, of course, another few swims, another 4 swims, I think, to enjoy this morning. You see some of the images of the swimmers here. Oksana Krul, the Ukrainian, she'll be back tonight. Michelle Alonso Morales in there. Kind of bouncy backstroke there. Can we get another German winner in the S7 class? Number of classes. It's good to. We've seen the whole range of classes this morning, Liz. We've seen just about every classification.
Yeah, I think the programming of this morning's event has really done. It's been great to get the competition off to a brilliant start, and we've seen a lot of the big athletes out on day one, whether it's been their main event or not. But it sets us up for a really good week.
It's blown the cobwebs away for the swimmers. It's blown the cobwebs away for us as well.
Definitely not for my Twitter though.
No, we will need to get that sorted out. Familiar faces coming out for this one. So Oliver Hine going through there in lane number 5. And 2 GB swimmers will be the favourites for this one. 100 freestyle S8. Again, 2 swimmers that swam in the GB trials last week, both achieving qualification standards. Not in this event though. Joseph Craig, blistering 50 freestyle on the last day of competition.
Yeah, he was the very last man to get his name on that potential nomination team sheet by getting under the consideration time. So he'll come in here on a bit of a high.
Ollie Hind, 101.59. Wonder if he can get close to the 1 minute mark. I wonder what the swimmers will do this morning. 2 heats in this one. Joseph Craig, I would expect to be just trying to make sure of what he can do to make himself progress into that final. Mortensen in lane 3, off to a fast start though.
Yeah, the 2 British boys not getting the best starts compared to lane 3, but they're both really strong. I mean, Oliver Hine's known for his 400 metres freestyle, and Joseph Craig, he trains and he races like a bulldog, so he'll be fighting down that second 50.
I think I saw his family in the crowd earlier, Joseph Craig. Not sure if Ollie Hine's family's now. I haven't seen them yet. They're always well supported, the Hines.
Yes, they are, and the British generally are always a well-supported nation, and I know that the families and friends travel in force, and it really does make a difference to these athletes to hear that they've got people supporting them and cheering them on.
Good race this one. Joseph Craig maybe the stronger in the end. He was, but only by 1/100th of a second from his countrymate Oliver Hine, and a good swim there for Mortensen. There's Joseph Craig. Pleased with that one, 101.45. It's comfortable for him, Ollie Hind. Good swim for him. 101.46, faster than his entry time. And have a little bit of a laugh between the two of them. 1/100 separating those two. But Mortensen, he swam well. Niels Mortensen, Paralympian from Denmark. He's a bronze medalist at the last European Championships in 200 IM. That freestyle looks good for Mortensen. Good improvement actually. Entry time of 103, he's improved that to 101. Kind of feeding on Joseph Craig next to him.
I think so. Sometimes when you're next to someone who they carry you along, and you have it in training as well. If you're training with someone a little bit faster than you, it really pulls you on to a better time, and definitely Mortensen getting the benefits of that this morning.
He'll be delighted with that one. Joseph Craig will be delighted to get in first position. 101.45 for Craig. Oliver Hind in second place. Mortensen in third. Those three, you would imagine, be comfortably into the final. We'll see what happens in this second heat.
Oh no, there's a disqualification.
Oh,
potentially. The results were not confirmed.
Well, we've seen that on the scoreboard here in the pool. We will bring you confirmation of that when we have it. We shall see. We'll have to wait until after this heat, I think. Denis Tarasov, the world record holder, in lane number 4. Bogdan Hranenko, European silver medalist in the 50 free. He goes in lane number 5. Torben Schmidtke, the German, sporting an orange cap, the German team. That's unusual.
I think they made that change a couple of years ago, but I'm not sure exactly why.
It's not only the Dutch you see with these orange caps.
No, the Brits got the option. One year we got to choose what colour we wanted our caps.
Oh.
So maybe it was a similar thing. We chose silver, but orange is cool.
Maybe it's gold.
Well,
Maybe that's what it represents.
the Brazilians have got that luminous kind of green. You know what's going on. Maybe people are just trying to jazz up swimming.
Well, it helps us. There's no mistaking Torben Schmidt getting that orange cap of Germany. Tarasov, though, will be the man to beat. He's dominated this event since the Paralympic Games, was beaten in the Paralympic Games by Wang Yinan of China. Silver medalist on that occasion, but he's won the last 2 European titles, he's won the last 2 world titles, and you would not bet against him here. Denis Tarasov, he's always got a smile on his face. Denis Tarasov, one of the great, the photographers love him, always a massive grin.
Yeah, and he had a really good 50 metres at the Russian Nationals last month, so he's obviously got the speed, so we just got to check that he's got the stamina.
Well, he looks comfortable. He's been beaten by Kronenko, but Tarasov, his arm stroke reduced significantly there in the closing stages. Kronenko in the 101.02. Tarasov just 16 more hundredths behind him. And in third position, Bordayev in lane number 1. And Kronenko there in lane number 5. The Ukrainian swimmer. But a good start then for Tarasov. He's got a kind of trademark freestyle, hasn't he? He's kind of very sort of upright freestyle. Not quite straight arms, but very, very long arm reach.
Yeah, and he's very strong and he's very powerful, and we see him come back down that second 50, and he never lets people get away from him. That's the key, I think, for him, is he never lets them get so far ahead that the race is over.
Very rangy stroke there for Tarasov as he's back there at the top of the screen. Kronenko gets that one. We'll see if we can bring you confirmation of that possible disqualification when we get these results. There is the result of heat number 2. Kronenko taking that one. Tarasov in second. Bordayev in third position. See the qualifiers for the final. Yeah, there we go. Joseph Craig not appearing on that list of qualifiers for the finals, and Joseph Craig looks like he has been disqualified in that first heat. Not sure what that was for, Liz, didn't see anything, but obviously the officials did.
Yeah, and it's actually quite difficult to get disqualified in a freestyle event. It would maybe have to be the false start or a twitch on the block or something, because once you're in the water, as long as you don't walk along the bottom, you tend to be okay. Or drag yourself along the lane rope.
I was going to say, yeah. I've seen that happen. Final 2 heats for us this morning. The unmistakable figure of Alicia Radikina in lane number 1. Normeister of Switzerland in 2. Alba Kelly in 3. No Stephanie Slater in lane 4. A couple of withdrawals from the GB team this morning. There's Vladikina. Again, really strong swimmer. Breaststroke specialist, of course. Very strong in the medley. Marina Havlova is the next swimmer there in lane number 5. Another youngster, 17 years of age. Alba Kelly, 17 years of age as well. There, the Swiss swimmer, Nora Meister, the youngest of them all, just 13 years of age. So, real kind of youthful look to this first heat of the women's 100 freestyle S8. It make you feel old, Liz?
Yes, but again, I'm sat next to you, so it makes me feel better.
That's charming. 3 generations of Paralympians, including Giles Long, it said in his IPC press release.
I know, and I'm the youngest, so I'll take that. My small
Come on,
victory.
it's all relative.
Yep.
Well, as expected, in lane 1, the outside lane flyer, Anikina, looking good. That's great skill, isn't it? And that freestyle with just that little bit of arm that she's got left from her amputation.
Yeah, and many people would choose not to use it and to leave it by the side of the body, but actually I think it's important to keep the balance and actually the overall stroke. Then you definitely, because you can end up swimming on your side. If you've only got one arm available to you, you can quickly, your body will twist and you'll be on your side. But she's definitely not doing that. And actually, we would normally see that they would catch her up by now, but she's staying ahead out there in lane 1 and using that first 50 that she had. She's been really strong here.
That is really, really powerful stroke there on that one good arm that she has got there. She's not really kicking too much. You expect her to see a little bit more of power in the kick as she comes to the final this evening, but she will win that one in a time of 1:13.67. Pavlova in second in 1:15.11. Alba Kelly 1:19.03. Nikina easily in first position there. Also involved with the Sochi Paralympic Games, an ambassador for those winter games a couple of years ago. We're just getting a little bit of news from that disqualification that we saw before in that previous heat there from Joseph Craig, and it's well, it was, he said it was difficult to get disqualified on the freestyle event, but it's not really his event that's caused the difficulty, is it?
No, absolutely not. Obviously there's a branding issue, and if you turn up with the wrong sponsors on your clothes or on your body, then you have to cover them up so that you're able to compete. And unfortunately for Joseph, he has a tattoo that needed to be covered up, and he for some reason didn't, so the branding issue has caused him his disqualification on this occasion.
Move on to the final heat on this morning, which is heat number 2 of the women's 100 freestyle. But you've got to say, lesson learned for Joseph Craig there.
Yes, definitely, and there are many athletes that tend to have both the IPC logo and the Olympic rings, because in the wider circle around the world, people recognise the Olympic rings and associate it with being a Paralympic champion as well as an Olympic champion, but the IPC brand now is so strong that we have our own logo, and I guess we have to uphold those rules so that the movement can continue to develop.
Well, you might see some of the swimmers with those tattoos with black markers on. We'll see if we can spot you some of them maybe this afternoon or in tomorrow's heats, just to give you an example of that. But Joseph Craig, certainly it was clear that he hadn't covered that particular tattoo over, so he'll learn from that though, and he'll not make that mistake again, that's for sure.
No, definitely. I know Dani Jimenez, I saw her earlier, and she had, between her scapulas, she had a lot of black marker on her back, so maybe a similar situation.
Back to the racing though, final race of this morning, Amelie Winter from Denmark. Big chance of a medal here for Denmark in this one. Amelie Winter will be the favourite for this one. We'll see if she can challenge the time set in that previous heat by Radikina of 1:13.67. Amelie Winter, though, a medalist before at these European Championships. She was second last time behind Great Britain's Stephanie Slater, and it looks like she might just be faster, just by 3/100ths of a second for Amelie Winter. She's followed by Duskova of the Czech Republic and Belcheska from Poland, 1:18.82, but that promises to be a good tussle between those two. Amelie Winter in a time of 1:11.64. She has gone faster, about a second faster. Not sure what Vladikina will be able to do on the 100. Not sure what her personal best is, but I reckon that'll be a good battle as well. This is a few good kind of head-to-head tussles brewing up for tonight.
It's a very open race this evening with Stephanie Slater's withdrawal, so an opportunity to win a gold medal should never be taken lightly. So I think we'll see them go all out tonight for a big tussle, because this is one of the events that does tend to be dominated by athletes outside of Europe, in the form of Madison Elliott from Australia and America's very own Jessica Long.
Absolutely, they have fought it out for the major titles over the last few years as well. The Australians and the Americans have strength and depth in this classification, but Emily Winter, pleased with that one. She wins that one in 1:11.64. Duskova in second place, Filchuska in third position there. Will that be enough for them to make to the final? I think it will be. It's very close actually. And make your way into the final place, maybe under the 120 will do it. Absolutely, 119.94. Spot on.
You can stay, Paul.
Winter, first place into the final, only 3/100ths of a second separating the top three. That completes the action for us today here in Funchal for the heat session. Swimmers have blown the cobwebs away. We've seen some good performances, a couple of regional records for us to enjoy here. A couple of people getting very close to the world record mark. Quite often we don't see that in the heats. So a European record as well for Kokarev from Russia. Can he challenge the record held by Yang of China later on this evening? You see, the swimmers progress to those finals this evening, and some great performances to look forward to, some great head-to-heads that we are anticipating tonight in the final. Well, Liz, first morning in, what's your verdict?
I think we've had some really exciting races this morning, set us up for a really good week, and I'm interested to see what happens next.
Well, we shall be back with you from here in Funchal on the island of Madeira. The local time that we are going to be back with you for the first final is 5 o'clock, 1700 hours local time. Thank you very much for your company, Liz, this morning. We'll see you back again tomorrow, but I will be back tonight with Giles Long for the finals. At 5 o'clock local time, we will see you then.
Once again,